Hi everyone, welcome back. Let's talk about velvet. Velvet is a pile weave fabric. Velvet is a fabric of elegance. Velvet is a fabric that will keep you warm, just like cashmere and corduroy. So usually you will find that people will wear their garments made out of velvet during the fall and winter months. Say for instance, it will be from November to end of February that you will see a lot of velvet, even being used as a home decor inside your house. So let's get into the types of velvet for you. There is a silk velvet and there is a cotton velvet. There is a crushed velvet, the stretch velvet, and the polyester velvet. Now, this jacket, this velvet jacket was made out of cotton velvet, and cotton velvet usually doesn't have a sheen to it. You can make a matching pair of pants to go with this jacket too. Now this is an example of what the cotton velvet looks like, and this is what the back is about. It's a cotton base, whereas this piece is a polyester and the back is not cotton. It looks more like polyester going on there. You notice the difference? That's the difference there. Okay, now they mostly use the polyester velvet to reupholster a chair or a couch, and you can also use it to make cushions, and some people use the cotton velvet to make cushion or the silk velvet. Now this is a bag that I made for the cushion, a cushion bag, and I would now get a filling and just put it inside of this, and I'll zip it up, and I would interchange this during the holiday season coming on, to say Christmas. I would do that, and also for like Valentine's Day in February, I would do that with my cushions for my couch. And you can make it into different colors. Could be green, could also, I made one out of yellow, and this is a cotton velvet also, again out of yellow. Now that's the cotton velvet. Then there is the crushed velvet. This is a crushed velvet, and it stretches. This is the back of it. It has a cotton base and it stretches, and this stretches both ways. All right, what you need to know is that when you're working with a pattern, you need to have laid out where the stretch of the fabric is going across the pattern, so you're getting stretch around the bust area and the hip area. So this is the crushed velvet. Now the crushed velvet, this one also is another stretch crushed velvet, but it has a pattern to it. Notice the pattern there. And I also made this pair of pants from the velvet with a pattern to it, a stretch velvet with a pattern to it. Now this is what the stretch velvet look like. Here's another piece. It is elegant to use, where you can make a bodycon dress from this, or you can make a long gown with godet or something that flares out, and really nice and flowy for the holiday season. So you can make dresses out of that. Okay, for the crushed velvet or the stretch velvet, you can also make leggings from that, or a turtleneck you can make from that. Now there are things that you need to know when it comes to working with velvet, such as sewing with velvet. You have to first change your needle to ballpoint needle, and you need to use the size 80 for that they use for stretch fabric. So use a size 80 needle, and if it's a cotton velvet, you are going to use a size 70/11. The other thing that you need to get is that you need to get a presser foot, Teflon presser foot. This is a regular presser foot for industrial sewing machine, and this is the Teflon for the industrial sewing machine. Notice the white plastic there. If you have a home sewing machine, then you can go to the store and ask them for the Teflon presser foot. That one, I don't have a sample of it, but it is just plain white plastic. You don't have the metal piece that is on it like this one. Okay, so you need to change your presser foot, because when you're working with the velvet, as you sew, it is going to slide, and having the Teflon, it is going to prevent it from sliding. Another thing that you need to do is get some silk pins, and the silk pins are great because you can pin your seams together before you start sewing. I say pin them about 1 inch apart, and as you are sewing, take your time, and when you get close to a pin, you remove the pin. If you don't remove the pin, and you try to sew over the pin, it's not guaranteed that it's going to miss that pin. If it hit that pin, that needle coming down and hit that pin, it is going to break the needle. And once you break the needle, you're going to have to remove the broken needle, replace it with another needle, and then you have to rethread the needle, because obviously to rethread the needle, you need the end part to go in, and then you have to go back a couple stitches back and restitch, start from there, so that the stitches overlap. And you want to avoid that. You want to have a clean one straight stitch coming straight down, no overlapping of stitches. All right, so please, to prevent your needle from breaking, as you get closer to the pins, remove the pins. Okay. Another thing that you need to know is about ironing. Do not place your iron on top of the right side of the velvet when you're ironing. No, don't do that. You are going to get a velo board or a needle board. And if you don't have a velo board or a needle board and you can't get one, you are going to get a scrap of velvet, place it over the area that you want to iron, pile to pile, and then iron from the wrong side. Okay, so please do that. You do not want to walk around with your velvet being scorched. Nope, don't want that to happen. And a second thing that you need to do also is you need to do a test stitch. When I say test stitch, meaning that you're going to get scraps of the velvet, put it together as if you're sewing it, and run some stitches there, and test it, see if it's okay. Make sure that the thread is strong enough, so that's why you're doing a test stitch. And after you do this test stitch, then you need to also know about laundering your outfit. If you are going to preserve the life of your garment, you want to take your outfits to the dry cleaners, whether it's silk or even cotton. Mike can get away with the cushions, and I still won't even tell you, but if you decide not to take your cushions to the dry cleaners, you can hand wash them with Woolite. And for your leggings, you can hand wash your leggings with the Woolite. And when you hand wash the leggings, please either hang it up in the hanger like this at the waist and let it hang and let it air dry or drip dry, or you lay it out on a mesh table and let it dry on the mesh table. You're going to treat your velvet with pride. Take care of it just as you would with your corduroy and your cashmere. Cashmere, you always take it to the dry cleaners. You cannot hand wash a cashmere. All right. Now, another thing I need to tell you is that when you are laying out the pattern on your velvet fabric, make sure that your pattern is going in one direction. Meaning that if this is the top of the fabric and this is your pattern piece, say the shoulder here, and it's starting at the top of your fabric and the hem is going towards the rest of the fabric where you have the majority, it is going to be the same thing for the back of the pattern and the side of the pattern. Same thing for the sleeve, whether it's the undersleeve or the top sleeve, in one direction. The hem is going towards the end of the fabric. Do not interchange it. Same thing for the pants. Now, I did a video and I posted it on my Instagram page, KWRoss_patterns. You will see the video on the corduroy pants that I made, and I showed that it was an effect from laying out the pattern, where it looked like it's two different shades of corduroy that I used, but it was not. That was because the front of my pattern was laying in one direction, and I reversed the back of the pattern and laid it in the other direction, and that is what created that look. That you can get away with corduroy, and that's only because I wanted to be funky and was trying something, showing you something. But because, you know, they always have this contrasting color effect and everything, so I wanted to show that, oh, you don't have to actually use a contrasting color, but it's all about your layout that created that contrasting color. But please do not do that with velvet. And the reason being, I'm saying this, so if you have the waist of the pants at the top of the fabric when you're laying it out, for the front, make sure it is the same thing for the back. The waist is towards the top of the fabric and the hem is towards the end of the fabric. Otherwise, you are going to see that your velvet is going to have two different shades. And I'm going to illustrate that for you here. So this is the grain line going down. I'm going to grab the bottom and I'm going to change it around, turn it around and interchange it to show you what I'm talking about. So this now, I'm going to pin this to show you, and when I pin this, I'm going to show you what it's going to look like. So it's very important that you do this. So here, me should pin one more. Just let me pin one more to show you, because two is probably not give you a good effect on the look that I'm trying to show you. All right, so here you have it. All right, it's going to show, or you're going to think that it's two different shades of velvet that I use at your side seam, or wherever your seam is that you're matching. Say for instance, this was the pants, and if you do that at the side seam, you don't want that to happen. So that's why I'm saying to you, be careful when you're laying out your velvet. Make sure every pattern piece is going in the right direction. So the top, say the shoulder is at the top, the waist is at the top, the armhole area is at the top, the sleeve head is at the top, the hem, all the hems, whether it's the hem of the sleeve or the hem of the pants or the hem of the jacket, is going towards the bottom of the fabric. Okay, so those are the tips that I have for you in terms of velvet and working with velvet. It is an elegant fabric, it is an expensive fabric, and it is a fabric that should be laundered properly or treated properly. And do not, even if you hand wash your velvet, the crotch ones, or the stretch one in Woolite, please do not put it to dry in your dryer, because that will distort the pile, and you want to keep the life of the velvet. Okay, so please hit that subscribe button. Please like and share my video with others so that they can be knowledgeable on this topic.